Evening, you're watching NewsHour special edition with me, Kritsween Walia, this Sunday evening, and we focus this evening mainly on the Prime Minister's latest hard-hitting attack coming in for the opposition. Just weeks ago, remember, Rahul Gandhi had recently implored the West, particularly the United States and European powers, to criticize India's alleged slide into autocracy under Prime Minister Modi. Now, this was enough for the United States to take note of Gandhi science case in courts, and it was then followed with Germany rushing to lecture India on fundamental democratic principles. Now, in one of the sharpest attack on his critics, Prime Minister Modi thundered that some people are hell-bent on sullying his image. In a blistering attack, the Prime Minister stated that some had given Supari, or rather a contract, for tarnishing his image, and cited collusion between those within and outside the country. He asserted that while some are relentlessly trying to hurt his image, every Indian is Modi's Suraksha Kavach. First up, listen into this attack coming in from the Prime Minister.
हमारे देश में कुछ लोग हैं जो 2014 के बाद से ही ये ठान कर बैठे हैं। उन्होंने अपना संकल्प घोषित किया है, हम मोदी की छवि को धूमिल करके रहेंगे। इसके लिए इन लोगों ने भांति भांति के लोगों को सुपारी दे रखी है और खुद भी मोर्चा संभाले हुए हैं। इन लोगों का साथ देने के लिए कुछ लोग देश के भीतर है और कुछ देश के बाहर भी बैठकर अपना काम कर रहे हैं। ये लोग लगातार कोशिश करते रहे हैं कि किसी तरह मोदी की इमेज को धूमिल कर दें।
Remember, just days ago, Prime Minister Modi made it clear that the 2024 polls will be between the BJP and the coalition of corrupts. The Prime Minister said those indulging in corruption are attacking the agencies when they probe them. And such leaders had formed a Bhrashtachari Bachao Abhiyan to discredit the institutions and question courts' decisions. And today, irrespectively, interestingly, the BJP has also in the meanwhile released a video by the name Congress Files, which highlights the corruption allegation against the party during the UPA rule. As far as the Prime Minister's Supari allegation is concerned, the opposition has challenged the Prime Minister to name those trying to sully his name so that they can be prosecuted. Listen in.
Our Modi Sahib is the first Prime Minister in the whole of world who is blaming that someone has given Supari to kill him. He has CBI, he has police, he has military. Why those persons are not being arrested? Or he has given false statement. What is the truth? It is unfortunate. Nobody expects such statements from any Prime Minister.
As Mr. Modi has started realizing that BJP is losing ground every now and then, as Modi ji has started realizing that people want answer regarding the Modani scam, his prime ministership dates are numbered. That's why he has started saying these things. People have made up their mind in the country. In the forthcoming parliament election, people are already ready to oust BJP from this country, and all the opponent political parties will come together.
Let's quickly open this up on this special edition of NewsHour, 9 p.m. this evening. Sanju Verma, BJP national spokesperson, with us. We also have Mr. Desh Ratan Nigam, lawyer and political analyst, along with political analyst Nilanjan Das. But my first question is to lawyer and political analyst Kapil Madan, who completes the panel. Kapil, I want to straight away go across to you to put this out in as many words. The Prime Minister comes out and says that there are those within the country and outside of our country who have been given a contract, a Supari, to defame him. Would you agree? Because there are several instances that have been pointed out by the Prime Minister, by several in the BJP, which clearly highlight how this has been happening, and it's only escalating in the run-up to 2024.
Well, Kritin, I think, this statement is quite absurd. And, every time you would, expect the BJP has hit us the lowest, I mean, they will disappoint you and they will, fall even a step lower. And, let me quote why I am, making this statement. Now, back then, when BJP was in the opposition, the BJP used to continuously raise questions on the government. You will also remember when 2008's attack happened. In fact, Prime Minister Modi went near the site and he held a press conference back then. Now, when Mr. Modi was questioning the government while he was in the opposition, nobody questioned or labeled the opposition back then as anti-national, as the kind of statement which now we hear. I mean, see, I think Mr.
No,
Modi.
but isn't the opposition mixing the two issues? Perhaps a case of misplaced priorities, because more often than not, in trying to question the Prime Minister of the country or the ruling government or the BJP at large, we see several in the opposition go ahead and defame the country. Not just in India, as far as their campaigning within the country is concerned, but outside of India as well. How can we deny it? I mean, questioning the democracy, questioning the judicial, the list is endless. How is it not about defaming the country, maligning the image of the country? I fail to understand, Kapil Madan.
Now, let me answer that quite straight and simple. When our Prime Minister went abroad and made a statement that it was to be a sin to be born in India, would you call it a defamation or not? I want your answer, since you have raised a question of defamation. What would you term as?
Okay. Well, we've seen the BJP respond to that earlier as well, because this is not the first time you're putting out this counter argument. But let Sanju Verma come in and respond. Sanju Verma, it is the role of anybody in the opposition to question the ruling government, and that's what the Congress has been doing, and the BJP has been blowing it out of proportion.
You know, Kritsween, there's a famous quote by Tennessee Williams: the only thing worse than a liar is a liar who is also a hypocrite. And I have no qualms in saying this for the benefit of your audience, that the entire opposition, led by an electorally vanquished Congress, is both a liar and a hypocrite. And the Congress has actually no qualms in admitting that it is so. And I'll tell you why. Prime Minister Modi said that there is a concerted and coordinated attempt to malign his image. If you just recall, a couple of years back, in the run-up to Lok Sabha 2019, there was a gentleman called Christopher Wiley. In March 2018, he is on record in the public domain stating that he was asked to sabotage the 2019 general elections in India by hacking into 55 million, as in 5.5 crore Facebook accounts, to change the narrative against Prime Minister Modi. And he also deposed on the floor of the UK Parliament in 2019 to corroborate his claims. Till date, the Congress has not been able to abdicate itself or redeem itself of the charges levied by Christopher Wiley. Then you look at the manner in which the BBC documentary, that entire controversy came about. The BBC had the audacity, the impunity to actually question the Supreme Court verdict, which has given an unconditional and clean chit to Prime Minister Modi as recently as June 2022. But I remember not only on
but in a quick yes or no, has the Prime Minister, when in opposition, not attacked the ruling government in India while on foreign soil? A quick yes or no, Sanju. I'll take that BBC point across because it's a very valid point, but a quick rebuttal to what Kapil Madan has been saying.
Kritsween, just give me 20 seconds. I just have this to say. Congress sitting here and giving a bhashan to the BJP on political morality is a bit too rich, because the Congress is the party which has undermined the democratic ethos by actually making a mockery of the Supreme Court verdict, giving a clean chit to Prime Minister Modi. Within 24 hours, Ajay Makan and Jairam Ramesh held a rally at Jantar Mantar questioning the Supreme Court verdict. And you think we need lectures on democracy from this party which has undermined the very core of what institutional democracy is all about? As for what Prime Minister Modi has said abroad, Kritsween, this has been discussed threadbare on various public platforms. What the Prime Minister said was that in the 50 or 60 years that the Congress ruled, there was not even proper sanitation. Sanitation penetration was 39%. Today, more than 11.5 crore toilets have been built. The sanitation penetration is close to 100%. So what is the big fuss about it, and what is the big deal?
So highlighting people's issues, highlighting what more needs to be done, cannot be equated with calling out names, name calling, and also in fact
Precisely.
downplaying the current status of our democracy, questioning our institutions, questioning the press freedom, questioning what not under the sun is what is happening, and that's not the same as what was being done perhaps by Prime Minister Narendra Modi while he was not in India and in the opposition. I want Nilanjan Das to come in as well. What's very interesting in all of this is, though we've seen these kind of political attacks, personal remarks, derogatory language being used by several in the opposition, it's escalating in the run-up to 2024. That's a worrying pattern. But all of this that's happening with regards to, and the BJP continues to highlight it, this is a crackdown on those who are engaging in corruption on a daily basis, and that has rattled the opposition. That's the only thing that's bringing the opposition together, Nilanjan Das. True. That's the only thing that has convinced the TMC to join hands with the Congress and attend a meeting before the parliament session. Nothing else. Only an attack on Rahul Gandhi as is being attacked by the opposition, and that too in terms of a court verdict. The BJP had nothing to do with it.
The BJP had nothing to do with it. A BJP member had filed that case. What are you talking about? And this BJP and you.
But the court has given a verdict, Mr. Das.
The court has given a verdict. The verdict can be challenged at a higher court.
Absolutely, and it must be challenged. And we're all hoping that Rahul Gandhi comes out.
No, why are you bringing in corruption? Has Rahul Gandhi been charged of corruption during this conviction? No. The answer is a clear no. And the BJP spokesperson was talking about some...
No, but Rahul Gandhi and several in the opposition, TMC, you name it. You name the political party and all of them have been saying that time and again central agencies are being misused, this, that and the other, and they're not convinced with the court's verdict. So,
No.
So do you see the link here? Do you see how agencies are going ahead with their investigations? There are cases in which the courts have not come out with any sort of relief to these people, and then you have the likes of Rahul Gandhi go to the United Kingdom and speak on Indian judiciary, speak on Indian democracy, and then the United States and Germany jump in. Who's giving them that space? Who's creating that space for anybody outside of India?
These countries are listening to him. This is what you are trying to indicate.
Sorry?
Okay, and you are trying to indicate that Rahul Gandhi is so powerful, so influential, that he is influencing all these countries. So that's totally a rubbish argument, number one. And the BJP spokesperson was talking about, hacking Facebook accounts and all this rubbish. So I want to quote what Mr. Amit Shah, the current Home Minister, had said.
Anything that is not convenient to you, doesn't sound to you, is not rubbish, sir. I'm sorry to put it in as many words, but let me go across to Deshratan Nigam as well. The fact remains, if we talk about opposition unity, the opposition unity is just an idea. As of now, Mr. Das, it's not a reality. Let's come to terms with that. My only pointed question to you was... Okay, go ahead. 30 seconds, then I need to go across to Deshratan Nigam. Go ahead.
No, you have not given me any time. You are interrupting all the
time. Sir, you've been speaking ever since. Go ahead, make your point. Please complete your point.
You make zero sense. That's the problem with you.
You see the kind of statements. This is a national spokesperson.
Okay. Yes. Sir, please go ahead, make your point.
No, you
Sanju, please. Let him complete. I'll come to you.
Look at
go
the language you're using.
The Honorable Prime Minister today has again done all this hullabaloo. He has again went to this victimhood card because he knows that he has landed in a soup. He cannot face the opposition. He has, the parliament's one of the leading parliamentarians, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, he has been suspended. So what are you talking about? Mr. Modi cannot face any real questions.
He was bound to be suspended, sir. If he is convicted in any case, sentenced to 2-year jail term, he is bound to be disqualified at that very moment. So let's not talk about the BJP perhaps, or indicate at the fact that the BJP had a role to play in this. But coming back to what you're saying, Deshratan Nigam ji, now you've heard it from all the sides. The charge that is being leveled against the Prime Minister in justifying that he's not being attacked. He's not being maligned. His image is not being maligned. He's not being targeted. None of that is happening. This is just the BJP being rattled ahead of 2024 and trying to build on this narrative. ये रक्षा कवच जो भाजपा बार-बार बोल रही है, प्रधानमंत्री बार-बार बोल रहे हैं, ये सिर्फ एक narrative है. निलंजन दास के हिसाब से. Go ahead, Mr. Deshratan Nigam.
Kritsween, let's be very clear. Rashid Alvi, you were playing his recording. What he said, Supari to kill him. This is what Modi has said. This is the level of manipulation they do with words, and this is the famous Rahul slip tongue. Whereas the Prime Minister very clearly said Supari to defame him. This is how they try to, put in words. And this is the level of understanding the Congress leaders have. And can that be defended? I am sure Kapil Madan will call it that famous Rahul slip of tongue. This is not what actually was meant by Rashid Alvi. I believe that's the standard operating phrase that the Congress people use it. Now, secondly, democracy is in the strongest and the best form India is going through today. And let me promise you and tell you, the feeling that we have in public is that none of the corrupt or anti-India forces will be spared under any circumstances. Let us make it very clear, and it will be taken to logical conclusion.
Decide who is corrupt and who is anti-national.
Please don't interrupt.
But
let us be decent. Let us be decent enough. Let's not behave like Rashid Alvi.
Mr. Nilanjan Das, you know what the problem is? The problem is that it is understandable so as long as you continue to question the agencies, because there is some grey area wherein you can say, oh look, the agencies are manipulated, look, they're biased, so on and so forth. But when you come down to question the judiciary, then there's no end to this. Then it's a vicious cycle. We should not have courts. We should not have a judicial system, because there's no trusting anybody. So even when there is a Congress at the center, the same system should be followed. The same pattern should be followed.
There are some.
Let's live in an absurd cycle wherein nothing makes sense. No one should be trusted. Constitution should not be followed.
Judiciary, that is.
Kritsween, can I finish?
Go ahead, Mr. Nigam.
Yeah.
Nilanjan Das, let him complete his point. Go ahead.
See, the fact is, when they win election in Punjab or Madhya Pradesh, the election commission is at its best. When they lose, it is bad. When the verdict in Rafale goes against them, Pegasus goes against them, or in demonetization goes against them, it is bad. The judiciary is also bad. When you do contempt of Supreme Court, you lie down on the ground and ask for unconditional apology. And then you say you are not Veer Savarkar, aap maafi nahi mangte. Half the time you're lying on the ground and asking for unconditional apology from Supreme Court, whereas Abhishek Manu Singhvi tried his best. Abhishek Manu Singhvi tried his best.
The law minister of the country questions the judicial system.
Please allow me to finish. You will have your ample time. You will be able to answer better once you listen to me comfortably. Now, what happens in London? A great leader makes a statement that China believes in harmony, then gives 10 facts saying that China does not believe in harmony. However, when you say China believes in harmony, you point a finger towards India, that is India which is creating problem at the border. The natural corollary can be drawn from that. Once you have a meeting with the ambassador secretively in Delhi, when the Doklam is happening, when it comes in the public domain, then you're forced to admit it. When you go to Kailash Mansarovar, you admit afterward that you met high Chinese officials, whereas it was not in your itinerary. You did not even inform India. Then you have MOU with Chinese Communist Party. Then you have Rajiv Gandhi Foundation receiving 1.36 crore rupees. I can name you. And then once a statement is made inviting EU and US to interfere in India, then, number of leaders in India start giving different interpretations, which Rahul Gandhi did not even mean, did not even say that in so many words.
No, as per the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi did not call for foreign intervention at all. In fact, they've been wanting to rely on the statement, the U-turn statement that he came out with, wherein he spoke of how all of these affairs are India's internal affairs. But the fact remains, Kapil Madan, and coming back to the moot question, the fact of the matter is, forget what Rahul Gandhi said in United Kingdom for a second. Let's talk about the personal, derogatory, absolutely uncalled for remarks that have been made against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and there are a series of them, and they're absolutely nonsensical in nature. I mean, talk about Modi teri kabar khudegi. You have the likes of Maut ka Saudagar. Of course, we know when this was said while campaigning back in 2007. Talk about wishing a dog's death for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, so on and so forth. Now, if the Prime Minister says that there is a conspiracy, that this is an attempt, it's a strategy on part of some, and then he's resorting to this contract charge, how do you respond? To be fair, haven't these haven't these attacks been escalating the past couple of years and the last few months especially?
Well, I would say very, clearly here, I am not someone who will support personal attacks, and I will, condemn any kind of personal statements, be it 50 crore ki girlfriend, be it Congress ki bidha, or be it any statement that has been made against Mr. Modi. And why I say so? Now, as a Prime Minister of the country, you are not a Prime Minister of a particular party. You are the Prime Minister of each and every individual and citizen of the country. And with the same logic, a person who supports the Prime Minister or the person who opposes the Prime Minister does not become anti-national just because he is questioning the Prime Minister. Let me just give you one statement when Mr. Modi...
And we come back to the same question, Kapil Madan. Question the Prime Minister. But you're defaming the entire country by speaking badly of the democracy, by questioning our institutions, questioning our judiciary. Why are we not being able to distinguish between the two?
We do not
Now tell me something. When Mr. Gandhi made a statement on the state of affairs of the democracy, I will just ask you a question. Is it not true that several Supreme Court judges and Supreme Court officials were on the Pegasus list? Is
Tomorrow,
it not true?
if you're talking about the judiciary, Mr. Kapil Madan, the Congress is going to be very happy with the Indian judiciary if Rahul Gandhi's conviction is stayed. Now that's a double standard.
Madam,
that is something that should not happen. And that is exactly what's happening repeatedly.
Madam, you have a BJP spokesperson now. Why are you giving her cover fire? Let her respond.
Sir, this is the most famous Kapil Madan strategy, wherein you resort to the anchor by saying that the anchor is speaking for the BJP. I am raising very valid questions. Is the Congress not going to be happy tomorrow if Rahul Gandhi's conviction is stayed? Is it not going to be content with the Indian judiciary?
I need to come in now.
Sanju Verma, respond to what he's saying. Sanju.
Kritsween, I have not heckled anybody on the panel, and I hope that courtesy is extended to me. Thank you. Kapil Madan raised some interesting points. What I find very hilarious, not to mention hypocritical in the least, that on television debates, the official and unofficial opposition spokespersons remember that Prime Minister Modi is the Prime Minister of the entire nation of 1.4 billion people. But the moment the camera is switched off, these people spare no attempts to abuse the Prime Minister in the most vile language. And I will just tell you one thing. Why I say that Rahul Gandhi is trying to malign both the country and the Prime Minister. If you criticize any government policy, that is constructive criticism and well within your right. But when Rahul Gandhi goes abroad and says that why are the US and the European Union oblivious to the fact that a large chunk of democracy has come undone in India? I'm quoting ad verbatim what he said. When he says this kind of a statement which is so brazenly irresponsible, he's not merely casting aspersions at Prime Minister Modi. He's casting aspersions on the entire electoral process of India, casting aspersions on the 23 crore people who voted Narendra Modi to power in 2019, and he's casting aspersions on the democratic ethos of India. When Rahul Gandhi went to UK in 2022, and mind you, this man is a repeat offender. Do you know what he said? He said the CBI and the ED are chewing up Indian democracy just like the deep state is doing so in Pakistan. The reason I gave you these two examples is to show that Rahul Gandhi is no immature juvenile. He is a repeat and a habitual offender, and on foreign soil, trashing Indian democracy is his favorite pastime. And if his spokespersons, official and unofficial, think that the BJP is not going to call out their bluff, they are in for another thing. And I'm just reminded of a Hindi saying, झूठ की नाव सच के समंदर में बहुत देर तक चल सकती नहीं, और झूठ बोलने वालों का स्वभाव कभी बदलता नहीं. And that is what sums up a habitual sociopathic liar who goes by the name of Rahul Gandhi and who has led his party to electoral defeats in 50 of the 54 elections, big and small, that were fought in this country in the last 8.5 years. That is his only claim to fame or infamy, as you wish to call it.
Okay, Nilanjan Das wants to come in. Nilanjan Das, how do you see this?
See, the BJP spokesperson, she was talking about, the names that have been the bad language that has been used about Mr. Prime Minister. I'm recalling the 2021 election when Mr. Prime Minister came to Bengal and shouted, Didi, oh Didi.
There is nothing wrong with Didi or Didi. Didi means sister. And your
Also, if I'm not wrong, Mamata Banerjee is referred to as Didi by several people who love her, isn't it, Nilanjan Das?
Sanju Verma, your leader of opposition in Bengal, Madam Sanju Verma, your leader of opposition in Bengal, calls the Chief Minister as Pishi, Fufu, Khala, Buri. These are the languages used by...
And that's most unbecoming of any member of parliament, any elected representative, Mr. Nilanjan Das. But the fact remains, today when Kapil Madan comes out to say that, look, the Prime Minister of a nation is not from any particular political party. When he's out there, when he's a name that everyone is speaking of across the world, then he's representing your country. But does the Congress party, in your view, truly understand that distinction or that difference is the question that I'm trying to ask you, because it sounds hale and hearty. The concept of it is known to all, everybody understands it if we go by the books, but is it being implemented? Are we practicing it for real?
The BJP is defaming every other opposition chief minister. They are stopping our funds. So this is the status of democracy in India today. If you are a state which is not a double...
And so you will call for foreign intervention, is it, Mr. Nilanjan Das? So you will say that the United States and European nations are today oblivious to the Indian reality, the Indian truth.
I am not his spokesperson. I am not a Congress spokesperson, so I will not go into that. But he has not said that.
But the TMC, for example, and you do advocate for the TMC also, to an extent, does agree to what Rahul Gandhi is maintaining, the Congress party is maintaining when it comes to the Indian judiciary, because they most likely and with most certainty are standing with the Congress party as far as Rahul Gandhi's disqualification concerned. My larger question is, are these the only issues that can bring the opposition together? Is the opposition not going to call out a spade for a spade? Are we going to lower the political discourse to an extent wherein to take on the BJP, we're going to come fight the BJP or any issue, even if that comes at a cost of our own country? That's the only question I'm trying to understand and ask from you.
TMC has not supported anything like that. But a section of judiciary is giving judgments which are making us question those particular judgments.
And like I said, Mr. Nilanjan Das, it's a never-ending cycle. If we question the judiciary, the courts, the police, we're going to end up questioning everybody. No law is going to be followed. It doesn't make sense for a constitution to be followed in our country if that's the pattern that we need to follow, because tomorrow the TMC, the Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party, anybody can be in the center at par. Tomorrow, if the BJP comes out and says, look, the Aam Aadmi Party or the TMC or the Congress is trying to misuse the agencies, they are also going to come out with the same counter argument. And I'm afraid that day is not too far, if at all. That's what the opposition is eyeing at for 2024. So it's absolutely absurd that today we're trying to defend the indefensible. I'm going to have to leave it at that. Sanju Verma, gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this special edition of the NewsHour. We need to quickly